Welcome to today's tutorial from the TwinSAFE department. Today we take a quick look at the safe addressing of AMP and AMI systems. My name is Martin Früchtel from the Product Management Safety. After a few basic information about our today's tutorial, I describe you our demo system and show you in TwinCAT 3 how you can configure the safe addresses of AMP and AMI systems. And after the demonstration, I will give you some additional information for an alternative way to configure the address. I will give you a short outlook to the next tutorial, and we finish up with a Q&A concerning the addresses of AMP and AMI. From the two regarded systems, AMP and AMI, today we take an AMP 8000, and the goal of the tutorial is to configure the safe address of this AMP 8000 system. As prerequisites, today you need a TwinCAT 3 version greater or equal to 4024.11, and today you need a TE 9000 version greater or equal to 130, because from this version on, you have the functionality to configure the safe addresses. The start of the tutorial is an existing TwinCAT 3 solution with already scanned I/O configuration. The demo system doesn't matter today, but nevertheless, we have an CX for the EtherCAT communication and the standard PLC. We have an EL6910. We have an EL1918 with a connected light barrier. We have an AX8000 in the X2XX, the safe motion version. And for today, we have an AMP 8040 in order to demonstrate the address configuration. As required functionality, we want to configure the default address of the AMP 8040. So now it's already time for the live demonstration. We have our TwinCAT 3 solution with our scanned I/O configuration, and we also have our scanned AMP. Before we configure the address, we go to the AMP 8000 and check the COE object F980, and we see that the FSOE address is 1. And via our new toolbar button, Download Safe Address, we can start our wizard, choose our AMP system. We configure our safe address, in our case 139. And then we have to do some authentication. So we take our username and password for the AMP. We verify the safety device and start the download. You can see in the lower left corner that the download was successful, but the safe address is only loaded when the system is starting up. So in the background, we do a power cycle of the AMP 8000, or in our case, the complete strand. And after that power cycle is finished, we update the COE list and see that the new address 139 was successfully configured. As you can see, the safe addressing of AMP and AMI is very straightforward with the use of TwinCAT 3. But for many maintenance cases, for example, there's no TwinCAT 3 available. And in order to give you an alternative way, you can also use our free command line tool TwinSAFE Loader. So there will be a new version for the TwinSAFE Loader, which also supports the safe address configuration. So as shown here, you can use the TwinSAFE Loader command line with new additional parameters, write FSOE address, in our case 139, to configure the AMP address. That was basically the demonstration for today. Next week, we take a look at AX8000 projects with partially different functionality. In one of the first tutorials, we already showed you how you can use one safety project for several axes. The differences between the axes were parameterized via our so-called multi-settings functionality. But with the multi-settings functionality, you can only define differences based on function block parameters and mappings, for example. And next week, we show you how you can realize one safety project for several access where the functionality differs. So, for example, for one or more access, you need the hardware connectors on the front of the AX8000 to do some additional functionality. That's what we look at next week. Thank you for your attention. I hope we hear again next week with the AX8000 projects with partially different functionality.